Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. You wouldn't be human if you sometimes didn't ask yourself the question, why am I bothering with all this? You feel as though you're missing out on life, missing out on the good times on life if you like. You're depriving yourself. It's bloody hard work staying sober and being sober. There's no doubt about that. It's a daily task, sometimes minute by minute. Particularly me at the moment, I live in a place that's being visited by a lot of tourists at the moment, and I see them there with their alcohol, their ice cold beers, and they're partying and they're having a great time. And, my brain sometimes tricks me and, tells me that I'm missing out, that I'll never have proper fun again and all the rest of it. Well, I'm going to explain in this video why I bother, first of all, and why you should bother. And also, I'm going to give you the two things that have made 100% difference to my sobriety this time and brought me a peace. And that question, why do I bother, hardly ever comes up if I'm keeping close hold of these two things. So I watched a podcast the other day, and I've heard it before, but some people may not have heard it. But this guy said, an ex-alcoholic and addict, that generally addicts in general pursue the illusion that they can drink and use drugs like normal people into the gates of insanity and beyond into death. And that is absolutely true, because one of the main reasons why I bother doing this is I know that that's me down to a T. I spent nearly 30 years probably pursuing the illusion that I could particularly drink like a normal person, when the reality was that one drink or one drug meant that I could never stop. I would not stop until I was unconscious, or there'd be devastating consequences. It just wouldn't stop, and sometimes go on for days and days on end. And like I say, there were always negative consequences to the people I loved, to myself, to everyone around me. There was destruction and pain. So I know that there's no magic pill you can take that will make you be able to be like a normal drinker, if you want to call it a normal drinker, and you can just have one drink. For me, if someone had ever said to me, we're off down the pub or out to a bar, we're just going to have a quick pint and then go, I would have looked at them as though they were insane. There's no way I could have walked into a pub and just had one drink and then left it at that for the night. Impossible. I'd have been thinking of about 1 million different ways to get as much alcohol down me after that first drink as possible, for as long as possible. And that's the difference between alcoholics and addicts and people who just can pick up a drink, have a drink and put it down again. And the same with a drug. They might take a drug and a party one night and that'll be it for weeks. That's not the case for me or you if you're an addict or alcoholic. It's simple as that. You will pursue that illusion if you don't get a handle on it and start doing the right things until you are insane, because you'll just keep repeating the same behavior with the same results, the definition of insanity. And then obviously that will lead on then to serious illness and death after you've lost everything before and caused everyone that you care about so much pain and suffering. So that's why I bother to put the work in, because I know if I don't put the work in and I don't do the things I need to do, then my brain will start to negotiate with me and start to trick me into thinking that or pursuing that illusion that I can have one or two drinks, that I've been sober for a long time now, that I deserve it, that it's a reward and I can stop and that would be it. Just that lovely feeling of, particularly if I'm a bit angsty or stressed out or even down and low, depressed some days. We're all normal. Life gets on top of us. I've had a lot of shit going on this year, horrible shit. But because I've been sober, I've been able to deal with that in a way that has been helpful to other people by giving service and being helpful to myself and clear and focused. So the two things, but first, before I tell you these two things, please, if you want to support the channel in any way, please click the link in the description, have a quick read. Help me along if you can, please. I really need your help to carry on doing this. It's as simple as that. And thank you to all those who've helped already. So the two things that I have done differently this time, if you like, as well as all the other things I learned along the way that are documented on this channel, there's two things that have kept me sober and at peace, if you like, most of the time. Because when none of us are, it's unrealistic to think that everything's going to be hunky-dory like Little House on the Prairie every minute of every day, because that's just rubbish, because life isn't like that. Living life on life's terms. These two things have taught me to do that. The first is community. So two things I never had before, community and connection. You'll find that most addicts and alcoholics will often isolate, or they'll certainly, if they're in any sort of community, if you want to call it that, it's a community of drug users and alcoholics. It's people who enable them to carry on doing what they're doing to themselves. It's simple as that. It's not really a community because they don't give a shit about you. No one cares about you like that. You make people think people are talking about you, but really people just aren't interested. And certainly people that you're involved with in that way, you're just enabling them as much as they're enabling you. It's a dysfunctional relationship. It's as simple as that. So finding a community which is like-minded, a peer group, however you do that. For me, it was AA. For you, that might not suit you. I resisted AA for a long, long time. But it was the right place for me to be, and it's been a wonderful experience. Couldn't be further from what I thought it was. And that community now is a community of very experienced people who are sober and who have been through the things that I've been through, can relate, spot the similarities, not the differences, and so similar in so many ways, but I learn from every day as well. But not just that, there's a fellowship of support underneath me. Now, you don't have to go to, obviously, to AA, and there's many groups, but you need to find your own community. You need to find your tribe, if you want to call it that. So that may be whether it's an online group, whether it's people just, who are sober people who have your best interests at heart. That's fine. It could be relations, could be anybody. It could be smart recovery. It could be, your family could be going to Al-Anon, like they may understand the way so they may be able to help you. All sorts of stuff and many options available. Find your tribe, find your community. And the other thing that was missing from my life was connection. Connection is, they did that experiment with rats, drug-addicted rats, and it worked 100 times out of 100. So they got the rats addicted to, they had a choice of cocaine or just plain water to drink. But when the rats were isolated, they chose the cocaine every single time and became hooked on it. As soon as the water became the way into their other rats, if you like, the community of rats, the rat never chose the cocaine one again. It went straight to the water one to get in with the community. Human beings are exactly the same. We need connection. We need people to relate to talk to have relationships with, to have a hug occasionally with, whatever it may be. Addicts isolate. I know I isolated for many years, and it's a painful and lonely and horrific place to be. The more time you can spend connecting with people, and I love being alone, don't get me wrong, I live alone, and I love my time alone, but I also love the connection of people as well, and that keeps me on the straight and narrow, community and connection. The main reason I bother with all of this on a daily basis, I know it's only a daily reprieve, I make the decision not to drink or use a drug every single morning, but the better and stronger I get, the more able I am to be the best version of myself, and my family see that. Relationships start to heal, your life starts to move in the right direction, financial issues start to sort themselves out, job issues start to sort themselves out. you begin to understand the meaning of the word serenity. Not all the time, obviously, but a lot of the time. So peace to you all, love to you all, stay strong and stay sober. Please click the link in the description, give me a help if you can. Subscribe and like the videos. Carpe diem, my friends. Much love to you all. Bye-bye.